Welcome to Every LA Talks with Los Angeles real estate agent Matias Masucci.
All right, let's talk about what type of properties actually qualify for a 1031 exchange.
Yeah, this is a really important point. Not all property qualifies for 1031 exchange. The exchange is limited to investment properties. So unfortunately, that means your primary home, your vacation home, your secondary home, those do not qualify for your exchange.
That makes perfect sense. So it has to be held as an investment for business use, like a rental, commercial, or land. Now, let me ask you a question. Do fix and flip qualify as a 1031 exchange?
So generally what I tell clients when they're doing the fix and flip is that's not going to qualify, but it's really a question for a CPA, because what the IRS is looking at is what is the intent? Why were you holding that property? A fix and flip is not held for investment purposes. So that's why it's kind of questionable as to whether or not. Most of the time when I talk to investors, they do not qualify, but always a good question for the CPA. And really, if you want to know if your property qualifies for a 1031 exchange, you can look at your tax filing and see how it's filed. That'll give you indication on whether or not it's going to qualify for the exchange.
That makes perfect sense. And actually, you also said something very important, which is talk to a CPA. And that is so important. This is one of the steps, one of the things that we talk about. It's important to be connected with professionals who are very versed, because when you're dealing with the IRS and federal regulations, you have to work with people who really know what's going on. And when you're working with me and Ashley, the great thing is that we have a network of people that we can leverage. So it's not just us. Whenever we need to point you in the direction of an expert, that's I tell all my clients this all the time. You're not just hiring me, you're leveraging a powerful network of 20 years of experience in real estate. So that's a very important thing to keep in mind. So a quick recap: investment properties qualify for 1031 exchange. But let me ask you another question. Does it matter what type of property it is? Like, if I invest, does a condo qualify if it's a rental property, single family residence? What about a parking lot?
Yeah, good question. So any property for investment purposes. So this can be a condo, a single family home, a multifamily. When we get into commercial, it could be self-storage, it could be a parking lot, it could be industrial properties. There is no limitation so long as it meets that the qualification for a like kind property. The one thing that I will say it has to be real property. So for example, a REIT, a real estate investment trust, those do not qualify for a 1031 exchange. So it's important to understand how that property is held in order to determine if it is what we call a like kind asset.
That makes perfect sense. All right, so if you're listening to this and if you're not sure whether your property qualifies, just reach out. We're here to help and we can make things a bit clearer. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Thank you for watching. To find out more, visit everyla.com.